Well, last week we brought you Angela Bishop's hilarious and revealing interview with Rocky Horror's Magenta, played by Patricia Quinn. Well, this week Ange has tracked down another star who did the time warp. It's Nell Campbell, who played the tap-dancing Columbia.
Like many young Aussies in the 70s, Nell Campbell left Australia for the excitement of London. The flamboyant little Nell's first job when she arrived was selling clothes at a market store.
I worked in one market called Kensington Market on Kensington High Street, selling clothes in a tiny, tiny stall. And opposite me was, you know, this guy, Freddie Mercury, who would tell me about his band. Good luck with that, Freddie. Hope that works out for you. How's the boots selling going? And he was a hoot. It's so funny, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was great when it all began.
Nell's next job changed her life.
I was working as a soda jerk in a cafe in Knightsbridge called Smalls, and I used to dress pretty much as Ruby Keeler.
Right.
I had my hair bobbed in a 1930s bob. I even had it permed, the curls, the whole goddamn lot. Well, that was a disaster, that bit. And I would sing and dance. The poor customers, I think about it to this day. And in came Richard O'Brien, Jim Sharman, and Richard Hartley, who was the musical director on Rocky. And they came and took one look at me. And they told me they were doing this show at the theatre upstairs and called the Rocky Horror Show and told me about it. And before the cheque came, I was hired.
Richard O'Brien had written The Time Warp, but it didn't have a tap dancing.
No, but when he saw my spectacular gifts in that department, in that little cafe in Knightsbridge, he had to put a tap dancing solo in there.
You triple time step like no other, did you?
I just say, use your arms a lot, smile, keep them occupied, don't look at the feet.
Well, you got caught with a flat world. How about that?
Like Nell, Tim Curry was encouraged to put his own spin on his role as Frankenfurter.
He was arriving to one of the first rehearsals on a bus, because we're at the top of King's Road in Chelsea,
Yeah.
the theatre, and he suddenly decided that the voice that he would use for the role would be a Chelsea matron's voice. You know, hey, the children will be on their way shortly. You know, it's so nice that you could come. And when they hardly move their lips, so you have to go, what? What is that?
So, come up to the lab and see what's on the slab.
But people think that's how Tim talks. Tim doesn't talk like that. But it was such a funny idea and it worked so well. It's the last thing you expect when that character in stilettos and he opens his mouth. How do you do?
Enchanté. On the day I went away.
The stage show might have been a smash hit, but the impulsive Nell left for what she thought would be greener pastures.
I left the play after 7 months, the biggest hit in, practically ever in London, to go busking in France.
Because?
I mean, because that's an example of my ruthless ambition and just my driving force, how I know where my career should be going.
I used to go around as you could go and listen to the music on the radio. The saxophone.
When Hollywood came knocking, Tim Curry, Patricia Quinn and Nell Campbell reprised their stage roles. Were you always on board for the film? Did you think, yep, I'll do that, or did you have some doubts?
I know, darling, I've never had a doubt in my life. If someone mentions celluloid, I'm there. No, of course.
You and Meatloaf have the great romance of the piece. When did you
Well,
first?
An unseen romance.
Indeed.
Yes, but my fervour for him definitely shows.
It does. When did you first meet Marvin? And did you call him
Marvin?
Mate? His name's Marvin Leaday.
Darling, no one's called him that since the 20s.
Ever?
Ever.
So seriously,
No,
you're
he's-
in rehearsals and you call him Meat.
Yes.
I suppose when you're all in your underwear
And
and
he's
high
the
heels.
most divine person.
He is.
He's a mess now, physically, the poor dear. He is exactly the same person he was when we made that movie, which was before he was famous, before he was a bat out of hell. And he's really it's a little bit like a big baby, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, he's just the sweetest guy imaginable. Nothing like you'd imagine, what he represents song-wise.
After the success of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, Nell moved to New York and opened one of the Big Apple's most fashionable nightclubs called Nell's. And that was the place to be seen. Did you love that time? Did you love sort of being queen of the nightclub scene?
I was called Queen of the Night, and now I'm called Queen of the Nighty.
Was it fun though? And who did you have in your
yes.
club? What stories can you tell?
Look, everyone came to that club. It was a fabulous club. Prince came and played one night. I mean, it was just an incredible place, an incredible time.
Rocky Horror was shocking by 1975 standards, but that never stopped Nell introducing the film to her daughter Matilda. How old was she when you first let her watch the Rocky Horror Show, the Rocky Horror Picture Show?
I think 3.
Oh, fair enough.
I should have shown it to her at 2, and I may have if I really think about it. Children adore that show. There's a lot of singing, sparkles, action, and anything that goes on that you think they might not be, watching. Well, they don't understand it anyway, so what the hell? And also, let's face it, the film is not really that racy. I mean, yes, it's, bisexual, trisexual, homosexual, etc. But, there's not much action, is there?
No, I suppose that's true.
And I think it's good that children see that, realise they've got lots of options.
Rocky recently celebrated its 40th anniversary, but Columbia is as fresh and colourful as she ever was. Can you still do Columbia's voice?
The voice that could open a can, as my mother described it. I rest my case. The cans are still popping open.
So you keep it for special occasions. When does it come out? When does the voice come out?
I do it for the fans.
Do you?
Yes.
Hello, I'm a fan. Please.
I was walking down the street just a having a think.
There you are.
He shook me up, he took me by surprise. He had a big ass track and a devil's eyes. He stared at me and I felt ashamed. I meant nothing, never would again.
I didn't think you could top Magenta, Patricia Quinn from last week, but she's fantastic.
Two such incredible women, aren't they? Just, I love everything about it. So, everyone, get your 2-year-olds out watching the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Oh, no, that's classy, but she's right. She's actually right.
Absolutely right. Everything's actually implied. You don't actually see anything.
We just remember distinctively all of the
It took me years later to go,
implications.
hang on, did Frank Confurter just do it with Brad?
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. It's all singing, all dancing. It's,
And I love the story, Ida, you told me about her father.
Yeah, her father was a guy called Ross Campbell, who was a journalist. He worked with my father. They worked on the Daily Telegraph here in Sydney, on the Sunday Telegraph, and also Mr. Campbell, well, he was a friend of my parents. Mr. Campbell also wrote a column for the Women's Weekly. And he created Oxalis Cottage, and he created roles for all his children. They used to be in it. And he was a decorated war pilot. He got I think he got the DFO. Distinguished Flying DFC. Yeah, he was honoured for his bravery during World War II. He was an amazing
And
man.
his daughter ended up in Rocky Horror.
They look a bit alike. I'm just thinking, she looks a bit like Mr. Campbell now.
And he used to write about her as Little Nell.
And
then the
that's where the
nickname
name
stuck.
came from.
Yeah.
She kept it forever.
That was so cool, Ange.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thanks as well to the Hollywood Show for access to that awesome interview.